Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dave Keith. This is Avernus Biker Lifestyle. Now this is a video that I've been in two minds whether to do or not for quite some time now. Not because I don't think it's important, and certainly not because I don't think it's relevant to the channel as a whole, but the simple fact of the matter is it is vitally important, not just to this channel, not just to reselling, but you can apply it to most things in life. I'm maybe over egging this a little bit, but the reason that I was in two minds is because I didn't know whether I could do the subject justice or not. Now the subject in question is mental health. I'm going to start this particular video by saying that I'm in no way, shape or form any form of expert, but I'm kind of hoping that what's achieved by me doing this video is that my own personal experiences help somebody. I want to tell you a little bit about myself, not for any form of sympathy, any form of requirement for kudos or anything like that. I tell you simply for context. I mean, I'm 50 next year, and I come from the generation very much where this isn't something that blokes talk about. Again, just for the context, I joined the army out of school when I was 16 and a half. Obviously it entered a very macho world. That's certainly something that wasn't even a consideration when I joined the army. And going forward from that and joining the biker fraternity and that scene, it's very much in the same vein. I think blokes of a certain age just don't talk about these things, and they have even less of an appreciation of how important mental health is generally. The train of thought is to basically just put up and shut up and just get your head down and plough on. Now I'm not here today to stand on the soapbox and tell you what you should do. Everybody's circumstances are individual. Over this last 12 months personally, I've been had a particularly rough time with my mental health. Now, without going into the whys and wherefores of it, something that's really knocked me for six, and I didn't see it coming. I wasn't expecting it, and I felt completely unable to get a handle on it. I just didn't know how to, because of the mentality of the macho bravado blokey thing where you just don't talk to anybody about it, or where you just get on with things and hope they come good. Sometimes they don't. Now I wanted to do this video not because my personal experiences have been particularly traumatic. There's no individual incident that I can say, well yeah, absolutely that's the cause of it, but I think from a personal point of view it's been an accumulation of a lot of years of being the guy that is the person that people go to when they want support, the guy that is outwardly always seems tough, roughy-tufty biker type, the roughy-tufty veteran, whatever label you want to put on it, just this external visage of being solid as a rock, where really nobody is like that. It's a finite mentality for anybody. I know suffice to say that everybody can be subject to changes in their own mental health. Now in the main I have nothing to complain about. Life's good. I have minimal stress both personally and in business, and as well as the mentality of just being bloke's bloke and not seeking help as far as mental health is concerned, then I never really had an appreciation for it. I was always of the train of mind that if you were the type of person that needed help or anything like that, that it was a weakness. That was a failing in my character because of that ignorance, because of my lack of personal experience in that field, and because of the way I was brought up. But ultimately that's just an excuse and another form of glossing over the subject. Anyway, like I say, the thing that swung doing this video for me was the fact that I wanted to be open and honest in the hope that it helped somebody else. So August of last year I was having a particularly rough time as far as my relationship was concerned. There wasn't really anything that I could pin it on either. It was an accumulation of situations that both myself and my wife were in. again, in hindsight, I think it was the result of a lot of years of not dealing with things that needed dealing with. I was unfair in what I said and what I did with her, which I greatly regret. I know that she has a greater understanding of mental health issues than I ever have, and I've certainly learned a lot in the last 12 months, much more than I ever knew. But the turning point for me was that recognition. It was actually an article that I read. In fact, it was an article that my wife sent me. It was a report that a psychologist had written to another doctor about a particular unnamed patient, describing how their mental health was being very destructive to how they were living their lives, and that's exactly the position I was in. It was, I'd go so far as to say it was an epiphany, but it really was a turning point, and it's the one thing that motivated me to not only recognise the situation that I was in and the situation that I was creating, but also the realisation of how important it is to do something about it, or at least to start to do something about it, rather than just brush it under the carpet and hope it all comes good, because that mentality, it will only get worse. So as a result of that period in time, what me and my wife were going through, and my epiphany, for want of a better word, and the wake-up call of actually this is a real thing and this really needs dealing with, I did get in contact with Minds Matter. It's a service that I wasn't even aware of, and after an assessment they recommended to me a course of counselling. Now, I was prescribed with a 10-session course of counselling, and it wasn't a magic pill, because it was never going to be, but it was vitally helpful in starting the process of dealing with the person that I was becoming, and dealing with where my head was at. Now, I'm speaking to you today knowing full well that I'm far from out of the woods. I probably never will be, because the person I am today has been a culmination of experiences through my life, so perhaps that's never for changing. The biggest motivator in speaking to you, and the biggest motivator in putting this video together, is how bad I felt and how important it is to share what you're going through with people, whether it be your nearest and dearest, whether it be mental health professionals, your GP. I suppose to a certain degree it doesn't really matter, as long as you're sharing, as long as you're not burying it, because the deeper you bury it, the more it'll come out. And of course there's going to be die-hard blokes that think stop being such a soft arse, but it really isn't. I mean, ultimately, what's life all about? Life is entirely about the pursuit of happiness. I firmly believe that as long as your happiness isn't at the expense of someone else, then it's never going to be a bad thing. That is entirely the focus of what life should be all about. We're here for a really, really short time in the grand scheme of things. We need to be experiencing stuff. We need to try to be more in a position where we can enjoy life generally. We can be just happy generally and content. Life will throw curveballs at you. Life will knock you on your ass. Life will kick you in the balls, and there's no avoiding that. There is no avoiding that for anybody. Some people have the ability to deal with those situations better than others, but it doesn't matter how big or tough you think you are, sooner or later life's going to knock you on your ass for whatever reason, whether it be mental health, whether it be physical health, whether it be circumstance. But the context of this video is me, in my humble way, stressing the importance of getting help, recognising the fact that actually you're not as happy as you could be. Actually your behaviour, your actions are negatively affecting somebody else, and doing something about it. Now, what I'm going to do at the end of this video is put up a few contact details of places where you can get help, whether it be just to chat to somebody, or whether it be if you need more urgent help. There's no harm in admitting that you need help. There's no shame in it. There's no nobody's going to feel pity. In fact, even in my own personal experience, when I've actually spoken to friends and people I'm close to, my family, the love that I've got, I'm getting a little bit emotional about it actually, the love that I've got in return and the support and the absolute absence of judgment has been mind-blowing. I feel like my experiences, particularly in the last year, as bad as they started off, and as much of the journey that brought me to that point has had an effect on it all exposing itself. The things I've learned over the last 12 months and the amount it's brought me close to people, it has been just beyond belief. Not only has it helped me in my mental health, it's made me closer to people, the people that I love, if that was possible. But I think as importantly as it's helping me, it's given me a greater appreciation for the effects these situations have on others. Now, if you guys have been with this channel for a while, you know that the ethos of it is, I'm just trying to help people, to be honest. I'm trying to help people earn an extra few quid with the reselling thing. It's all about giving, and if this video achieves that, obviously for different reasons, if it helps somebody just take that first step, even just start a conversation that they won't necessarily have, and if it makes just one person a little bit more content in themselves, even if it doesn't achieve sort of like happiness for somebody, just a bit of contentment and steering somebody hopefully along the right lines where you do share, you do talk rather than bury shit, because that is very, very corrosive. If it helps one person, then it's been worthwhile doing. It's been worthwhile me bearing my soul and being this brutally honest. There was a time not so long ago at all, in fact probably up until the walk to this table to make this video, where I thought, do I really want to be bearing my soul online? Do I want to be this exposed and this open about who I am and where I've come from? And this simple answer to that is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if people think that I'm an idiot for doing this. It doesn't matter if people think that I'm soft or any less of a man for doing it. It doesn't matter, because that's not my problem, that's their problem, that's their weight. As well as happiness being the most important thing in life, context is as well, and intent for that matter. I think with this channel generally, my intent is to be helpful. I'm not the type of person to believe in karma, but I am the type of person to believe that if you're a decent person and you have good intentions, then proportionately you'll get that in return. You're always going to get people who are arseholes with you, you're always going to trip over in life, but if your intent is genuine, then you'll prevail, and like I say, proportionately people will be decent with you as well. Now, I've no idea how long this video is going to be after the edit, but I realise that most effective videos have a beginning, a middle and an end, and I'm very much ad-libbing this because what I wanted to portray is honesty and transparency. So this video may be a little bit all over the place. It may be a little bit repetitive. I have a tendency to do that. But in conclusion to my whole point of doing this, I urge everybody that is either having a rough time, or even if you're not, is just to talk to people openly and honestly. If you think that the stress of life or stress of business, stress of relationships is getting on top, talk to people. and get help. Look into organisations where they can help steer you along the right lines, and ultimately look after yourselves so you can be more effective in looking after other people, the people that are closest to you, the people that matter to you. And as a consequence of being in a better place yourself, if you can make somebody else's life a little bit better, a little bit happier, if you can just randomly make somebody smile once in a day, there's just a little bit more good in the world. God only knows. We need more positivity in the world. We need more happiness in the world. Nobody ever got in trouble for making somebody else happy. Now, I'm not going to wrap this video up with the usual like, share, blah blah blah, all the rest of it, but one thing I will say is, if you think this, whatever this video turns out to be, can be a benefit to somebody, just send them it. Even if this video motivates you to talk to somebody and share that message of seeking help if you need it. If you've got friends and family that are having a rough time and you think they could benefit from talking to somebody professional, you can encourage them to do that, and maybe even start them on the road to getting help for themselves. Thanks very much indeed for your support of this channel, guys. It really is humbling and really is appreciated. I needed to get this off my chest for personal reasons as well, but my intent was that hopefully it would help somebody else. And the very next video will be more back on track, I promise. Thanks again, guys. Adios for now.